A few months ago, I came across this game through a tweet saying that they were looking for alpha testers, and just by looking at it, I knew this was right up my alley. A hack and slash game with a main character who gives Ryuko a run for her money? Sign me up immediately. So fast forward and I ended up being one of the lucky few alpha testers. Although it doesn't really matter now since you can just download the full demo on Steam anyway. But you know, I wouldn't be me if I didn't plan videos and then leave them sitting for months at a time. But the question today is, how is this demo? From what I've played in both the alpha and the demo, it's a bit hard to say. I'm not expecting this AAA quality from an indie game like this, and the concept and the gameplay are pretty great too. However, I did end up having a few issues while I was playing. But the crazy part about it is that the alpha gave me a lot less trouble than the demo did. And throughout this video, you'll see a mixture of both the alpha and the demo versions, so if things look a little bit different, that's why. Maybe there's certain settings that aren't matching up with my PC, but the demo seemed to run a lot worse than the alpha did. I kept getting frame drops, which can be life or death in games like these. And believe me, I was dying quite a bit by the end of it too. Best part is, it's not a huge deal because this game does have an abundance of checkpoints. And it does come in handy for a few parts of this demo, of which you will see. Like one part later into the demo where you get into a room filled with enemies that keep spawning and things will get a bit funky. I had so many retries over this one part over the dumbest things possible. If it wasn't me falling into these pits, it was me getting flung across the room and again straight into the pits. Not to mention the enemies that are the smallest in the game are the ones who whittle away at your health by shooting you endlessly. So when I think it's cool to go ahead and smack around the regular enemies, I end up getting sniped from a pillar by an enemy the size of my thumb. And my goodness, don't even get me started on the last part of the demo. Racing through this tunnel gave me some Sonic 2 vibes at first, but ended up being the bane of my existence. Not only because of the precise jumps you need to make, but also the glitches as well. There were times I got turned around or flung out of bounds, and I even had moments where the monster chasing me would totally fly past me in the tunnel. Something I'm sure that will be taken care of before the official release, but still. The way that the game keeps track of both your time and your death count, it looks like it's aiming for speed runs, which would be cool to see when the full game releases. And how about the combat, you might ask? Well, it's fairly standard. You have one button to use normal combos, you have a dash attack that comes in handy for taking out flying enemies, and you also have an AoE attack that is really good for crowd control. It's not at that point where it's catered to the combo fiends who want to destroy their enemies in the most fashionable way possible, but it works out just fine. And as for the enemies that you fight, who are they exactly? They are an alien empire called TEABAG. Yes, that's the actual name. And they're basically these walking, talking tentacles, or I guess they look more like Tic Tacs. But obviously, of course, they are tentacles because one, they're called Tentamon.
What the dog doing?
And two, what else would a girl being tied up like this be fighting? If you couldn't tell already from the gameplay so far, this game has two main goals in mind here. The first is to provide you with that super exciting action-packed gameplay. And the second is to pull in all the horny people who can't help but play games starring a half-naked chick. And yeah, there are even ways to get her more or less naked in the settings or if you have a certain code. Now, does the game really need this? Well, I'm not complaining. Throughout my gameplay, I didn't really pay attention to that too much, because normally the camera is going to be facing behind your character and you're not really going to see that much anyways. The advertising of Kajun-chan totally got my attention though, so whatever they're doing seems to be working. The focus they have is pretty great because clearly there is a decent market for this type of game. Before the demo was officially released, I remember the release date for the full game being later this year. Looking back at it now, I'm happy to see that the release date was pushed back until the middle of 2023. And I want absolutely no hate towards any of the developers of this game. Game development can be very tricky and it takes a long time to make your vision come to life. I'm just glad to see that the devs of this game are so open to taking the time to listen to the feedback on the game. Every day I see people posting their own experiences and ideas on the official Discord of the developers. The community there is great, and I can only see this game getting better and better over time. It's clearly not a finished product just yet, but if you are a fan of action games and wouldn't mind seeing some mature stuff, it's totally worth checking out on Steam. Also, if you do end up playing the demo, definitely check out the Twitter page for Lucid Games as well. You may be able to check out their Discord, join a community, and give them your own ideas to help improve the game. One suggestion that I and other testers had was about changing how much the UI shakes on the screen. Now, it could be something minor, but it would be cool to have the option to remove the screen shake. For games like this, I love seeing the process, and someday I hope to come back to this game and see exactly how things have changed. It would be great to see this get more traction and become an even more polished masterpiece for degenerates everywhere. What do you think about Shred and Tear? I'd love to hear all your thoughts in the comments. Also, check the description and check out Lucid Games and give the demo a try for yourself. Subscribe for more videos just like this one, and I'll see you all in the next video.